Good day or good evening, and welcome back. This is part 2 of part 4 of this video series I'm doing, responding to this guy's terrible dissection of Lovecraft's works. And honestly, I have nothing else to say, so let's proceed.
Now let's talk about his powers. Starting with his avatar, a freshly summoned Hunter of the Dark is already capable of flying at the speed of a meteor, however fast you think that is. As a passive ability, the Hunter of the Dark gives nightmares to everyone around him. The range of this passive ability is as large as an entire city, and he is also super smart. Remember?
Buddy, that ain't the Haunter. That's the Pharaoh. As I said in part 1 of part 4, actually I should come with better names. The reason why that Nyarlathotep is called the Faceless God or the Horror of Infinite Shape is because he has more than one avatar. The Haunter is just one of many. And here are some of the other avatars that Nyarlathotep uses, which are the Black Man, the Faceless God, the Whisperer in Darkness, possibly, and the Pharaoh, his most used avatar. As you can see, Nyarlathotep is not limited to just one avatar. He has a lot of them. There's just only a few.
That in this universe, magic and science are the same thing, so not only could Nyarlathotep bore you to death with super advanced math, but he also knows magic. We don't know exactly what kind of magic.
I wouldn't dwell too much on magic in the mythos. I mean, Lovecraft never really elaborated or expanded on what magic is in the mythos at all. I mean, it's just mathematics or alien mathematics, you know?
Magic, but he taught some witches how to open portals to realms with higher dimensions. At bare minimum, he should have that spell.
Wrong. Completely false. He only taught one. Well, one confirmed actually. And her name is Nihab, formerly known as
Keziah Mason.
And her familiar is Brown Jenkin. Her and her familiar are the main villains of the Dreams in the Witch House. Like, you name drop and mention a friend Ka and how he serves an importance to the story, but not Nihab and Brown Jenkin, despite the friend Ka not even appearing, while those two are the main villains of the story. The absolute disrespect to Nihab and Brown Jenkin. Wow, just wow. You know, I see a pattern here. Every single power scaler that tries or attempts to power scale the mythos, they always ignore the characters that actually do something and serve an active role in the story. Instead, they hyper-focus on characters that never show up or just show up in the barest minimum. Damn you, August Sterlef. Damn you to all hell. But the reason why is because that Nihab is probably boring and doesn't have interesting abilities. Bitch, she does! She's very interesting. She has very interesting abilities. You just don't read the story. Alright, I'll do you guys a small solid. Here are some matchups that I think you'll find very interesting. That includes Nihab.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Also, in universe, some people believe Nyarlathotep's avatar lives at the center of the world. Taken seriously, this would mean Nyarlathotep's avatar can go into the core of the planet and be fine. That would be impressive if we believe it.
So, context behind that passage, that was from The Rats in the Walls, one of Lovecraft's best and also early works. And it was when ideas were still fresh and new, and Lovecraft haven't developed them to what they are today. Well, not only today, more like how we see them today, because, you know, he's from the 20s or the 30s, you know, you get the idea. Of course, Lovecraft scrapped this idea for Nyarlathotep, and instead recycled it for Azathoth. Because you see the connection right there? Do you see the connection? And even then, this section was not referring to a avatar. It is a legend that people believe, you know? But Robert Bloch did expand on this title and did make the Faceless God a avatar.
Lastly, for his avatar, the Hunter of the Dark can, at any moment, go from the physical realm to the void, and he can take other people with him. It'd be a one-way trip, because once in the void, the avatar can go back to the physical realm until someone looks at the trapezohedron again, but once in the physical realm, the avatar can choose to go to the void at will. He can do it once, but he can do it. The question now is, how exactly is he doing this?
Completely wrong. Can you just stop being so wrong? It's frustrating. First of all, that passage you showed doesn't support your claim. And you know why? Well, the avatar it's referring to is not the Haunter, it's the Pharaoh. And going back to this section, it says nothing about Nyarlathotep taking people to the void and not coming back. You must be like going full schizoid. Because, the setting for this section, it ain't the void. It's a city. A normal human city, not even an alien city. And that city is presumably Providence, Rhode Island. Because a little background on this prose poem, it was actually based off of a nightmare Lovecraft had, where a pharaoh named Nyarlathotep spread his chaos and knowledge throughout the world, and to his city, Providence, Rhode Island, which is a city that Lovecraft grew up in. And I'm telling you this because I am damn well sure that Literary Who's fans do not read at all. Don't lie to me. I know. And for this section from Funky from Yugif, again, it's not talking about Nyarlathotep taking people to the void and not coming back. It is instead talking about the ultimate void. In fact, the whole claim of Nyarlathotep being completely dependent on the trapezohedron and going to the void once and not coming back to the physical world is completely false, as seen in the stories where Nyarlathotep has appeared. And in those stories, the complete opposite is true. The stories are telling you that you're wrong, and yet you choose to be wrong. What the hell, man? In these stories, it shows that Nyarlathotep is not dependent on the trapezohedron, and he can go back and forth from the void to our dimension as how many times as he wants. He has no limits at all. And here's my proof. The Dreams in the Witch House, the story where the Black Man appears. No mention of the trapezohedron. And in that story, the Black Man has went to the void many times and came back to our realm many times. So, where the hell did you get the claim? Next is the Pharaoh. It has traveled to the void and traveled back many times. It has opened portals and summoned creatures from the void many times. So this entire claim that Nyarlathotep can go to the void once and can't come back is complete bullshit. You made this up.
Because there are two options. Either the avatar is flying to the void or he's teleporting there, and both of those are insane for different reasons. If the avatar of Nyarlathotep is flying from the physical realm to the void, he is performing a feat of speed so insane that it would make the Flash feel inadequate. And if the avatar is teleporting there, then that would mean that at any point he wants, he could instantly teleport you in front of Azathoth. Lovecraft's writing certainly allows for either of these interpretations, so this is a pick your poison kind of.
To answer that question, it's both.
Deal. Alright, now let's talk about what the full Nyarlathotep can do. First of all, Nyarlathotep is one of the creatures from the void, so basically anything I've said in previous videos will apply to him as well. But on top of all of that, Nyarlathotep has his own things, like for example, Nyarlathotep once bonked Azathoth on the head. Azathoth took no damage, but the mere fact Nyarlathotep can even do this is pretty ridiculous.
Now listen here, you little that's actually true. You won this time.
So Nyarlathotep has shown to have the capacity to mind control people. Strangely, this manipulation power only works if you are asleep. However, if Nyarlathotep wants you, going to sleep pretty much guarantees he's going to make you do what he wants.
While it is true that Nyarlathotep can mind control people, this is an extreme misinterpretation of how his mind control works, as he can mind control people that are fully awake. Because that in the dreams of the witch house, it was revealed that all these weird dreams that Gilman was experiencing weren't actually dreams. They all happened in real life.
In addition, Nyarlathotep can shapeshift. It is said he has an infinite amount of forms, so he can look like anything, but he does have a preferred appearance. Most of the time, Nyarlathotep chooses to look like a tall, completely bald, faceless, black humanoid figure, and he has hooves on his feet.
Okay. Let me break it down to you again. So, in the first part of part 4, the tree on the hill creature is not Nyarlathotep. I explained it in depth in that part if you want to see it. But here's a quick summary on why Nyarlathotep is not the shadow creature seen in the tree on the hill. And plus, their chronologies do not match at all. But anyway, this tall, faceless, dark-skinned humanoid figure with hooves for feet that you're referring to is the Black Man. And here's the thing. The Black Man has a face. How can you get that wrong? Like, how? How? And these sections that you brought up? Bruh, they don't match the description you're giving. Because, look, read that again. This section in the Dream Quest is talking about the Pharaoh, and this one too, in the Nyarlathotep prose poem, and this one right here is talking about the Faceless God avatar, or the Faceless God legend. And here's one thing. The Nyarlathotep prose poem takes place in a normal human city. A city in our physical dimension. And didn't you say that
The only place Nyarlathotep cannot go is the physical realm.
And here you are, claiming that the Nyarlathotep that we see in the prose poem is actually Nyarlathotep and not just an avatar. Despite claiming that actual Nyarlathotep can't enter the physical world, but yet, if we follow your logic, here he is in the physical world. So, can he enter the physical world, or can he not enter the physical world? You're giving very contradictory information, Mr. Who? Like, what is he? Schrodinger's cat? Schrodinger's god? Schrodinger's something?
But back to his powers, Nyarlathotep can grab all the gods of Earth from one place and dump them in another place. Let me explain to you why that's insane. In the fictional universe Lovecraft created, a deity like the Egyptian sun god Ra actually exists, and Nyarlathotep is moving a deity of that caliber with about as much effort as it will take you to grab your phone and put it somewhere else.
While this is true to some extent, Dream Quest technically didn't happen because, you know... And plus, it's heavily suggested that these gods of Earth don't exist. They're just the great old ones misidentified. Which is what exactly happened to Yig.
But I am not done, because Nyarlathotep is the soul of all of the other gods. We know that in this universe, souls have power. Nyarlathotep being the soul of every single one of the other gods must mean that at bare minimum, Nyarlathotep has a portion of the power of every single one of the other gods. That includes Azathoth, Yog-Sothoth, and yes, even Shub-Niggurath. Now here's what you need to understand. The void is full of monsters, and every single one of them is insanely strong. Let me give you an example. There's these creatures called the amorphous flute players. They are the ones playing music to Azathoth, and as a side effect of the music they play, they create all the laws in this universe. If that's hard to understand, think of it this way. These amorphous flute players are creating the laws of physics, and they are doing that just as a side effect of playing music. That's how powerful the creatures in the void are, and Nyarlathotep, as the soul of all of them, should have power from all of them. So now we...
Okay, I goofed up. While I did claim that the soul's title for Nyarlathotep is a metaphor, in reality, we have no idea what that means. What I mean is that Lovecraft never explained or elaborated on why he's called the soul of the Great Old Ones. So this claim that he has all the powers of the Great Old Ones is just an interpretation. But the most plausible explanation or meaning for the soul's title is that it's a scrapped idea. I mean, think about it. It was only said in early stories. Come on. It's pretty obvious. I mean, a more stronger claim for Nyarlathotep having all the powers of the Great Old Ones is his Crawling Chaos title. Because for the Crawling Chaos title, it's basically the old Greek definition of chaos, not the modern one, which is the primordial void that predated or created existence. So that means that Nyarlathotep predates all of the Great Old Ones except Azathoth. And he could possibly have all their powers, maybe. I don't know. Make it as you will, alright? Alright. Off topic here, but can I just say how much I hate how he chooses the fucking anime Coomer versions of Nyarlathotep and Shub Nagraf? Like, God, that's nasty. But if you wanted to be a weeb degenerate, do it right.
We can finally bring back our good friend the staircase, then we can make another step, and that's where Nyarlathotep would rank. So to answer the question of this video, Nyarlathotep is too powerful.
Damn, bro, that's a nice. This is honestly the most August Derleth thing I've heard in a long time.
I am of the opinion that there are only 4 beings in his verse that could fight him. Put those 4 aside.
What? What the hell? Why is God here? This is supposed to be a Lovecraft video, isn't it? This is so unbelievably... God, I am speechless on how stupid that is, because if you didn't know, Lovecraft's works about cosmic horror and cosmicism. Why am I even explaining this? God damn it, what's my life become? But anyway, for Nodens, he was retconned for this reason alone. So, about God, that's August Derleth. But for Lovecraft, it's a whole different story, which is,
There isn't any God, and when you die, you're just dead. And heaven's just a fairy tale to put you to bed. Sometimes I think about the chance that I'm wrong, and then I close my eyes and just remember this song. I said there isn't any God.
Now, while Nyarlathotep might not be the absolute most powerful entity in his verse, he is definitely the most dangerous, because other monsters in this universe might show up in front of you putting up a show, being big and loud and saying,
"Blah, I'm gonna eat ya, I am the end of all things."
but Nyarlathotep won't do that. Instead, he will show up looking like some kind of important figure so that you will listen to him, and he's going to be very polite and very well spoken, and he's going to put all the stars at your feet and tell you how awesome you are, and that thing you think you really want, Nyarlathotep is here to give it to you, and all you need to do in exchange is just do him a little favor. It's gonna be something really easy, and he'll even help so that it's even easier. How cool is that? And once you accept, he's gonna send you to the void and feed you to Azathoth because you were dumb enough to trust him. That is how Nyarlathotep operates. He is extremely powerful, extremely old, extremely smart, and extremely evil.
While it is true that Nyarlathotep does interact with humans the most, and yes, he does manipulate humans, he's not evil. Because good and evil are just human social constructs. They don't exist or matter in the grand scheme of things. This Reddit thread perfectly goes over what Nyarlathotep is exactly. The idea that Nyarlathotep is the most evil entity in the mythos comes from August Derleth, because that he painted Azathoth as the devil, and Nyarlathotep as his right-hand man, and blah blah blah, ooh, he's cartoonishly evil, ooh. Yeah, in reality, Nyarlathotep is way more nuanced than that in the original Lovecraft version. As for the whole claim that Nyarlathotep feeds people to Azathoth, that is completely not true. And you know why? Well, I'll just let this section from The Dreams in the Witch House speak for itself. Well, read for itself. It can't speak, it's words. Unless you can convince me that the entire story of The Dreams in the Witch House takes place in Azathoth's stomach. Which, if you do, then I have a lot of questions for you, actually.
Alright, that was a lot, but we did it. We are done. Or at least that's what I would like to say, but I still have some miscellaneous things that I want to quickly go over. Number 1, Nyarlathotep is said to have all knowledge. You can use this to argue he's omniscient. I would disagree, but you can do that if you want to. Number 2, Nyarlathotep has enough power to, at bare minimum, ruin the surface of planet Earth. Problem is that we don't know which Nyarlathotep is doing this.
No, the main problem is that Nyarlathotep doesn't even show up in the story. Like, he's completely absent from the Crawling Chaos short story. As to why he calls the story the Crawling Chaos, well, I don't know. Unless... it was clickbait!
You really think someone would do that?
The shadow from the tree on the hill is not Nyarlathotep. A very small Lovecraft YouTuber named Sporgy the Menace made an excellent video that perfectly refutes all of Literary Who's ridiculous claims about the mythos. And he completely debunks the claim that the shadow creature is Nyarlathotep. Go check out his video and the rest of his content. He's a great Lovecraft content creator. He's very knowledgeable in all things Lovecraft, and his art is phenomenal.
Number 4, Lovecraft once implied that the King in Yellow and Nyarlathotep are the same.
This part of the fungi from Yuggoth was referring to the unspeakable terrible priest. The same priest that appeared in the dream quest of unknown Gaddafi. So, for those who haven't read that scrap novella, it was stated and shown that the priest speaks to the great old ones with his little flute. But apparently in this version, he uses drums. Regardless, this is clearly referring to the unspeakable priest, not Nyarlathotep or Hastur at all. Well, actually, there is a possibility that the priest could be Hastur, but honestly, I don't really care. Well, that's it, and that's all. Hope you enjoyed this video, because I sure didn't. And yeah, full disclosure, Literary Who isn't hurting anyone. He's just having fun, yada yada yada, I get it. I just think his takes are absolute okay? I have the right to disagree and respond to his videos. Come join me next time as I cover his dissection on Yog-Sothoth, and this video too. And as always, good day, good night, and remember, do not let Yog-Sothoth impregnate you.
Some songs are happy, and some songs are sad. Some songs are really well rehearsed, and other songs are bad. And some songs are angry, and some songs are sweet. Some songs are made to help you wake up in the morning. Well, here's a little song to help you go back to sleep. There isn't any God, and when you die you're just dead, and heaven's just a fairy tale to put you to bed. Sometimes I think about the chance that I'm wrong, and then I close my eyes and just remember this song. I said there isn't any God, and when you die you're just dead, and heaven's just a fairy tale to put you to bed.